Hello and welcome to Real Estate 360. This is the Real Estate 360 Show and realestate360show.com. And this is Steve Conley, hashtag unemployable. And
this is Mr. Jason O. Miles, not with an apostrophe, but with a period, hashtag the real estate trainer. And listen, yes, you can go to the website. We like it when people go to the website. We've had a little bit of traffic come through the website. Thank you for engaging with us, but make sure, it's the real 80s thing going on over here with the glasses, but make sure that you're engaging with us as well on iTunes, on Spotify, on Google Play, on YouTube, Real Estate 360 Show, on all of those platforms, and tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like. Look, we really enjoy when we get feedback from people that are listening to the podcast or watching the show to check out what antics Steve is going to do this week or next or previous weeks. And, we just want to encourage you guys to do that. And if you have questions or specific things that you want to hear about, we want to hear what you want to hear about so that we can give you that information on a regular basis, okay?
listen, I had to put one of my sunglasses on today because I'm sitting here with this star here, and it's so bright that...
Well, the lights are bright, yes.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about you. And, my hair's blown back, and so I had to get these glasses on so I could, see.
Oh.
And so now that his head is so large, he'll never get out the door.
Mr. Murgatroyd.
We have a seminar coming up in December, and we'll talk more about that. But he was Jason O. Miles was just talking about, getting in touch with us. And the seminar is a great way to do that because guess what? We're there, and you can ask all your questions about real estate that you might want.
And, I really hesitate to even call it a seminar.
It's really not a seminar.
It's more of this Q&A session kind of thing. We get a lot of people on many different levels of their real estate investment life. We've got people that are just starting out and haven't done anything but have the desire.
Yeah.
And we've got people that come through with,
10, 12 properties paid in full.
Exactly. Multiple $1 million.
Trying to figure out what to do next.
Absolutely. How do they scale up? How do they level up? And that's what it takes. That's what you have to do. You have to put yourself in the places to get ahead, to network, because that's what this is. A lot of people that come to these events, well, everyone actually that comes to the event is looking for ways to do whatever it is they're doing better.
Of course.
It doesn't matter what level they're on. We do like very specific questions. We do like when people come in with a challenge that maybe for us, it's something we've already done.
It's obvious. The answer is obvious to us.
Right. But
sometimes.
We've been there.
Yeah.
And at one point we had that hurdle to overcome. We had that obstacle, and we had to reach out to the people that we look up to for, the next level. What's next? How do we level up? What do we need to do to create an experience that we can share for other people or with other people?
And, that's kind of brings us to the topic of the show today, which is being thankful.
Absolutely.
For everything that shows up. And, we're doing this show. It's going to be airing right before the Thanksgiving holidays. So guess what? We want to be thankful and grateful for all that we have and all that we've experienced.
That's right. The good and the bad. Everyone always gets down when it's bad, right? But
there's no bad.
There is no bad. There only is.
There's only perspective of what we think is bad.
That's right.
And I'm glad you said that because, this is a fear-based business. People get to the point, they get a point, and then they get to basically a place of fear, and they're not really sure which way to go. So fear holds them back to move on to the next thing.
Well, let me ask you something, Steve.
Yes.
Are you ever fearful? Do you ever have a day when you wake up with maybe a little self-doubt or just uncertainty? Even now, do you ever have those days?
Of course.
And we all have them then, right?
Absolutely.
So there's nothing wrong with having a bad day.
Not at all. As a matter of fact, it's really a good thing. I was, this past weekend, not this weekend, I think maybe the previous weekend. Hey, no, it was this past weekend. I made a bad call and it resulted in something that might be negative. It sure looked negative. and I was feeling pretty low. So, I kind of just stopped doing everything, and then I started just watching the reflections that were coming back to me and other people,
Yeah.
because it's just reflections of ourselves that show up. And I'm thinking, okay, I need to eat some humble pie here, And so you called me and I said, listen, you may not be able to understand me too much because my mouth is full of humble pie. And so, I chilled out a lot this past weekend, and I made some attitude adjustments,
I think that's necessary all the time. I was reading a book, and I can't remember the name of it right offhand because I'm thinking faster than I can speak. But the author of the book is or was an instructor at Georgia State. And in this book, he had interviewed, if you will, 700 and some odd. It's actually 777 millionaires. And that was one of the questions that he had for them. How do you have these kind of days? And if you do have them, how do you deal with them? How long does it last for you? And one thing that they all had in common was, yes, we have these days when we have the self-doubt. Yes, what you see on the outside doesn't really matter. We're winning, but we're playing on another level as well, right? So it's all relative. You may drive a 12-year-old Camry. I may drive a brand new Bentley, but a lot of the people that are wealthy, they call them the balance sheet wealthy people.
Yes.
They're just like most people, and they're one deal away from, not having the Bentley, not having the big house. If one thing goes awry in their business, it's a house of cards in a lot of cases. But that's one of the things that we have tried to avoid in terms of how we leverage as real estate investors. We saw what that leverage had done to people in the past, had done to an entire industry, the world actually in the past by over leveraging, right?
Exactly.
And just being greedy because you could.
Sure.
Right. But now, most of us that have stayed inside this industry have said, okay, listen, we know how we need to leverage this thing out. Or more importantly, we know what we do not need to do. And we're thankful for being back. I know I am, because, listen, I was devastated financially, personally, through the crash. I don't know about you.
Oh, yeah.
But it was a long way back. But we did it, and we're thankful for having. I know I am. I wake up every day thankful because, listen, every day is the best day of my life. Whenever it's good, of course. Whenever it's bad, absolute. Because that's what we learn from. We learn from the good. We learn from the bad.
I watch these shows, and I experienced the same thing you did. I was totally wiped out, with that little, let's call it, downturn in the economy.
Yeah, a little snafu.
Yeah, it wiped me out. But I've been there before.
Yeah.
And I looked at that and I said, this sucks, But at the same time, I was saying, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
And you know why?
That's an opportunity.
Because I was out of my mind. No, that's not the reason. No, I said it was fantastic because, like I said, I've been there before a couple of times where I had, lost everything. And I said, this is really great because I've only lost the material things.
Right.
What I have in here in my mind is way bigger now than it was before this happened. And my past experience has shown me that anytime I lose everything, the next thing that happens is I start again, and I make 2, 3, 4, 5 times more than I've ever made before.
May I say something about that?
You sure?
There are several million people, a large percentage of the entrepreneurial population who have very similar stories. And at some point, at the end of that story, you're like, I have become a master at the comeback.
Right.
I don't want to play that game anymore. I don't want to come back anymore. The comeback game is just kind of, even though you know how to do it, and that's a blessing, that's a positive because you have that information. You've got more experiences to take you on to the next. But you know what?
Yeah.
I don't want to have to play the comeback game. No one wants to do it, first of all, right? It's a circumstance. It's a thing that happens. But it also puts you in another mindset, which some people, kind of look down on. And that's, how do we play it a little safer moving forward?
No
right?
kidding.
You know what I mean? How do we do that? How do we be aggressive on the front end, but take some of the profits from that aggression and
this is why you're my brother from another mother, because I have the exact same thoughts. It's really sucks and it's really great to be broke, but let's not do that again.
No.
Let's just kind of, let's build it and, how they do the charts, where it just kind of goes up on a steady base.
That's right.
I'm okay with that.
That's right.
I don't need to lose everything again.
And a lot of that is what we're doing today, and some of the shifts that we've made in our current business model, and being aggressive, teaching people how to be aggressive, but also saying, hey, listen, here are some other options. And I think that we should touch on some of those options that we have so much to be thankful for after the break.
Let's do that.
We'll Buy Your House. Click 833willbuy.com. That's 833WELLBUY.com.
Or call 833-WILL-BUY.
Se habla español. Llámanos. Call us today.
And we are back. We are back from the wonderful break. Gotta keep it going. Gotta do the sponsor thing. It is what it is. Thank God.
I had to go to my high intensity sunglasses here.
You feel the need for speed?
Yes, I do, man.
I feel the need for speed.
Well, let's touch on this fear thing. You wanted to talk more about, making it easy and smooth in terms of, consistent growth instead of up and down.
We all want to make it easy and smooth.
That's right.
I mean, the simple fact of the matter is there's always a little turbulence along the way, but I think for us, it's really about saying, okay, here's what we know how to do really, really well. Here we know these other people that know how to do these other things really, really well. So let's leverage that relationship to level all of us up a little bit.
Right.
And in doing that over the past several years, we've seen exponential growth in our business.
Our business looks totally different than it did 2.5 years ago.
Absolutely.
We were doing one thing. Now we're doing 8.
Yeah.
I think it's 8. I don't know.
And it's all about just scaling, putting the right people in place and going from there. But that's a further one. When we're getting out, when we were getting to the point where we knew we needed to do some things, and we said, okay, what was that? And there was a little discord between the two of us about what that was going to be or how that was going to look.
What was that? I can't remember.
I wanted to immediately go and buy multifamily.
You're right. There was it was like, I just didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah.
So,
But then, you watched for a little while and said, hey, these numbers actually make sense.
Yeah.
And they do, right? I mean, that's a whole big, long conversation that we would love to get into.
Well, one fell in my lap, and I said, holy crap,
Yeah. And that was just wholesaling.
Yeah, I just flipped one, So, multifamily. I like it.
Yeah. And even, not only with that, we had to learn how to deal with our tax liabilities and what we need to do to grow our businesses so that we don't have certain liabilities moving forward. And it forces you to grow. It really does force you to grow because you can't keep doing the exact same things over and over and over and over again. Well, you can, but you can't expect to have any real growth.
But why do people get on roller coasters,
Because they're thrilling.
Because they go up and they go down and exactly. It's because there's the fear there, that's what we're all looking for in life, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, what's going to happen next?
Yeah.
It's not, let's live happily ever after.
But people in life, the roller coaster analogy was great. In life, people do it the opposite, though. When you're on a roller coaster, it's the anticipation that drives you going up.
Right.
Right? For most people, that's in real life, not on a roller coaster, that's the fear. Going up is the fear.
That's true.
Coming down, they are anticipating going down. See, us, as people that are moving forward, we don't want to go down. That's the fearful part.
Right.
There's nothing to anticipate about that. You know what I'm saying?
Except for hitting the ground.
But that's for sure. But, I mean, it's just the opposite in life. And I think that for most people, and I think that, it's a shift in the way we think, in the way we see things that changes everything
It does.
about our lives.
And stepping out into the fear, if you will, is where all of the resources are. So, if we step out and we put something under contract and we're thinking, okay, wonder how the heck we're going to buy this or fund it or how are we going to do it? But, you have to take that step in order for the resources to start flowing.
Can I share a story, a personal story?
So, well, yeah.
Well, thank you. And it's fear, but it's also facing that fear. When after the crash, when I knew I had to get started, I had nothing, and I'd gone through.
Wait a minute. You said you had $300.
Yeah, I had $300, and I had my 3 children, and I had a 2001 Saturn. I don't even know what it's called. Is it the Sci or is it SCI? I don't even know what it is. All I know is it was a little.
Is that two-seater?
Yeah,
Sky.
Yeah,
SKY?
SCI, or I think that's what it was, and a 2-seater. And I bought it in the fall, or in the late fall, so it was cold outside. And as it got warmer, when we hit the spring, I couldn't really drive it that far because it would overheat the cold weather. I didn't even know there was a problem, but that's a whole other thing, right? But that's what I had. And that's the car. What a beauty. The producer just pulled up the car, and it is a sight. It is a sight. And there were 4 of us. And if you've seen me, if you haven't seen me, go to YouTube. You'll see my girth. I'm a big fellow, and so it's me and my 3 children squeezing into this little tiny car.
Wow!
And we would go out and just knock on doors some days, and I had to make it happen. But my relationship was going in the toilet because I was unwilling to go get a job. I wanted to create a lifestyle. And the only way to do that is to actually step out there and do it. So my relationship was going in the toilet. I didn't have any money. I didn't know where I was going to live. That $300 was it. It was all I had.
Right.
And I had to make a deal. And the only thing I had other than that $300 was the knowledge of how to do it and the willingness to step out there and do it.
Right.
But, and we go back and forth. I tell this story all the time about how I turned that one deal and that little bit of money into $6,000, and then it turned into $18,000 because I was able to market and so on and so forth. But the real story there is the willingness to step out there and do it in the first place. Because a lot of people say, you know what, I got to make sure that I've got that $500, $600, $700 a week coming in to pay for this. But then you get stuck into that lifestyle, and you can never really get out of it. I mean, you can, but then it will still require you to step out on faith.
People don't understand that how difficult it is for us to go actually get a real, I'm holding up my fingers for you people who are listening, for quotes, a real job, where you go in for a certain number of hours and they pay you a certain amount of money. So you know what the thing is, what the income is.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard.
That's right. Well, we have a client of ours who he went to work Monday.
Yeah.
And got fired Monday afternoon because
what took him so long?
He is a salesman. He's a commercial salesman for a cellular company.
Oh.
And he made a deal with a company and did not take their phone. He left the phone that they were supposed to trade in, but it was like one of 5 or 6 phones, right? So he forgot the phone. He left this phone. Well, he didn't forget it. He left it so they could pull the data off the phone, and he was going to go back and get it. They fired him 7 years on the job. They fired him because he left that phone so that person could go get that data taken off of it.
Wow.
Totally unexpected. Now, what's this guy to do? Now his
come
plan
to our
B.
seminar.
Well, but we're already his plan B. Real estate is already his plan B.
Right.
So now it's I got to hurry up. Where he was moving before, but he's like, he's driving in the school bus lane, 25 miles an hour, a little bit here, a little bit there. Here's some information. I know you need all this, but here's this. I'll get you the rest in a few days. So now here's everything you need. I got to hurry up and make something happen. But it's being able to operate with that level of, what's the word I'm looking for? That level of excitement, that level of,
I
got to do it, whatever that word is. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I have to do it.
Urgency.
The urgency is there now. Absolutely. he's operating with a level of urgency that he hasn't known in at least 7 years. So
he doesn't know what urgency is. I mean, so what? He's been getting a good paycheck,
Right,
And
right.
He's not down to his last $300.
no, he's absolutely not down to his last $300. But for again, a lot of people, they have marriages. There's these two income homes that they need those two incomes because they bought their houses with two incomes in mind. Their cars, with the lifestyle they live, period, is with two incomes in mind. And when that gets cut in half or whatever that proportion actually is, it really does affect relationships in every possible way.
Most relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, you have to act with a sense of urgency. If there's something you want to do, you got to do it. Just step out there and do it. Don't push it to the side. This is your life. And everything that you dream about when you go to sleep at night, when you're watching a show on television and you fantasize that that's the life you get to live too, why not go and just live it? It's not going to be easy.
Oh, wait a minute.
But what they're doing isn't easy.
It is easy.
Tell me more.
Well, it's easy to do that because what is the idea behind having a life like that? It's the feeling, right?
Yeah.
You get the feeling from having a life like that. Unfortunately, that's the backwards way to actually make it show up. If you just get the feeling, then you've actually accomplished what you wanted to begin with.
Even though it's someone else's actual.
Well, you still got the feeling. And then what happens is because you've got a vibration of that feeling, then that lifestyle will just show up for you.
So let me just make this clear.
Yes.
If I'm watching a movie and I'm seeing a guy sit on the beach sipping whatever he's sipping on and it makes me feel good, I'm going to leave that theater
feeling good.
Feeling good.
Don't get pissed off.
I'm going to feel good. But I'm going to leave there feeling good. And then magically, I'm going to be on a beach sipping Mai Tais.
Yes.
I just have to keep feeling good.
That's it.
And I got to believe it's going to happen.
That's right.
And I have to take a little bit of action.
Well, let's see. Maybe you might have to answer the phone, or if somebody comes up to you and starts talking, and and they say, "Hey, why don't we go to this party, or let's go to this meeting, or something like that?" Then yes,
absolutely,
you have to follow the breadcrumbs that are laid out for you.
That's right, because those things do happen.
They do.
Just we talked about this before, but
I'm going to tell you a story when we come back from this break.
I can't wait.
Okay.
Do you need to sell your house? Well, our company will buy your house. We make the process very fast, very easy, and it's all cash. All you have to do is give us a call today.
We'll buy your house. Click 833willbuy.com. That's 833WELLBUY.com.
Or call 833-WILL-BUY.
Si habla español, llámanos. Call us today.
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome.
Real Estate 360, it's a real estate show that tells you everything you ever wanted to know about real estate investing in 60 minutes.
And we are very good at saying a lot of stuff.
Yes. We can say a lot, and so far we haven't really talked about real estate, but we have.
We have.
Or have we?
Because it's a mindset.
Yes. Really,
this is all about mindset. It doesn't matter what you do. It's a mindset. You have to believe in it. You have to know that you got to step out there. But when we were, just before the break, you were telling us about a story that you wanted to tell us.
And some of the, yes, thank you for that. In sales training that I've been through, I've had a number of occupations over the years. One of those was insurance salesman. And one of the training things was about this guy, and I think this might have actually come from Robert Allen, one of the things I was listening to, about this guy who had to make his insurance sales quota by midnight of this day in order to, reach some level and make a certain amount of money. So he's out there, he's working.
Coffees for closers?
I don't know. Yeah, that.
Glengarry.
I know what you're talking about. So, so he's out there and it's late at night. It's like 10, 11 o'clock at night. He's out trying to sell some insurance. And then he's walking around. He sees this light on upstairs in an office, and there's a light on. So he goes up the stairs and knocks on the door. And the guy opens it and he says, "Oh, well, yeah, I'm just working late. What can I do? What can I help you with?" He says, "You wouldn't happen to need some insurance, would you?" And the guy says, "Well, yeah. As a matter of fact, I do. Please come in." So here's what I want to illustrate by that. The story was for you, me in this case, and all the salespeople to get out there and knock on the doors of people who, might need insurance, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what about the other side of that equation?
What side is that?
Well, the guy sitting in the office,
Mm.
he's just sitting there. And he said, "I need some insurance," in his mind's eye. And he said, "I need some insurance."
Mm-hmm.
So he's just sitting there, and this guy comes to him and knocks on the door.
So wouldn't that be a frequency thing?
Exactly. So they're lined up. And this guy over here is working his ass off all night, and this other guy's just sitting there waiting for him to show up. Which would you rather be?
I'd rather be the one out there. Well,
Okay.
actually, I'd be the one putting out the signals because it's going to come.
Exactly.
gonna
Either
come.
way, I guess it's fine.
Yeah.
It's whatever you would prefer.
Yeah.
I'd kind of like to be the guy in the office, putting the signal out, waiting for these things to show up, and then, most important, recognizing them when they do, and being grateful and thankful.
Preach. Yes, because it's about recognizing, right?
It is.
Because, listen, people will always say, or you'll hear this a lot, opportunity, once in a lifetime opportunity, once in a lifetime opportunity. There is no such thing as a once in a lifetime opportunity. There is no such thing as a once in a lifetime opportunity, because if you can recognize the opportunities that are presented to you on a daily basis,
Yes.
because it happens to you every single day. It's just you have to have the ability to recognize it. And a lot of times the things that you ask for are not presented to you in the way in which you asked for them.
90% of the time. No, 99% of the time, you
Right.
can't recognize them.
And it's really, after a while, you kind of get good at it, right? You get good at it. And then there's those times like we were talking about before the show where you have this horrific week or this horrible day.
Yeah.
But all that is, it's just full of opportunity. What that opportunity is totally up to you to decide. Truly.
Exactly.
It could be, okay, this happened because I didn't do this, so I now know I need to do this to not have that happen again, right?
Right.
And it's just our ability to see it for what it is, and that will take us to other places that we couldn't even see ourselves going, simply because we prepared ourselves to be ready for it.
I couldn't have said that better. Maybe I should sign you up for my It's About Belief as a spokesperson. I don't know.
Oh,
But let's stick with real
you're
estate.
all too kind, sir. You're all too kind. But it's the same with real estate. And you said it when we started this. Sometimes we just step out there in faith.
Yeah.
We don't know where we're going to get the money to finance this deal from. We know we might not be able to close it, but we believe that we are going to find someone who is.
By the way, we're not suggesting that you go stick your neck out and put down hard earnest money on these contracts without knowing what to do.
Good disclaimer.
Yes, and yeah. As a matter of
all the
fact,
fine print,
it's a lot easier, really, and a lot more confidence building to actually have money lined up when you write contracts, and have the hard money guys lined up. Have yourself approved for a line of credit. Have your HELOC lined up, your credit cards, cash advances lined up, and then take the action if that's what makes you feel comfortable and that's what your abilities are. If not, do whatever makes you feel the most comfortable, because everyone has their own story. Everyone has their own motivation and their own comfort level. So do what's good for you.
That's for sure. I mean, you have to understand what your attributes are going into a thing, right? Because, because there's different schools of thought here, right? There's some people that say, get the money first and then find the deal. And then there are people that say, find the deal and then go get the money, because the
And what do
deal
we
will bring
say?
the money. Just go find the deal.
We say go find them both.
Yeah.
Go do it all at the same
it's,
time.
It's just, you got to keep it going.
Yeah.
It's not even juggling anymore. It's just what you do.
Right.
But you have to understand what your attributes are before you do anything. You're not going to go and apply for a loan if you know you're a 440 credit score, right? Unless unless you have a relationship with private money, which is a totally different thing, right?
Right.
Because now you're not going to put credit out there. It's deal driven. It's relationship driven. So you have to know what your attributes are. You know, you have to know. I have to know if I'm not good at talking to people.
Yes.
Right? And then I have to learn to communicate in a different way. So there's all kinds of different things. It's like
certain people, like, you know, exactly when you're, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead, please.
So when I was eating my humble pie this weekend, you know, and watching television, you know, trying not to do anything. I don't want to talk to anybody because, you know, what you just said is certain people, you got to talk to them in a certain way.
Right.
And I said, well, you know, I'm really not good at talking to these kinds of people, but I'm really good at talking to those kinds of people.
Right.
So that's when you have a partner and say, hey, Miles, would you talk to those people?
Yep.
I can't talk to them.
That's right.
You know,
and it happens all the time.
Yeah.
You know, we in some cases we can't even talk to some of the people that we need to talk to.
No kidding. I know who you're talking about.
And it's just a matter of at that point saying, okay, I just can't. You know, we got to move on from this one. But
and then I said, hey, I told you.
That's right.
You're not going to be able to talk to him. I mean, even I can't talk to him.
and that's what it is, you guys. I mean, if you're going to get involved in real estate, you have to learn what it is you want to do and where it is you want to go. Understand, though, that where you want to go today isn't necessarily where you'll wind up later. It's just not. Okay? I wanted to be a developer. All right, come on with it. You guys, you got to go to YouTube, Real Estate 360 channel, and you have to see Mr. Unemployable over here. Hashtag unemployable. You got to see it.
It's amazing what a pair of glasses will do to change your identity. You know?
It is a spectacle. Dad jokes, man. I'm full of them.
Oh my God. a double entendre. How about that?
Everyone in our live studio audience is going, oh God.
Yeah, they are. They're falling out of their chair. Camera's going out of focus.
Oh man, I have lost my train of thought.
Yeah, me too. So anyway, yes, go ahead, please, since maybe you picked yours up before I did.
You just understand your attributes, guys. You know, understand where it is you want to go. I wanted to be a developer when it was all said and done. I wanted to build subdivisions. Now, so far from the things that I want to do, because I learned everything from the beginning. Nothing. I mean, when I was at nowhere, when I was at zero, I learned all this stuff, and I built some houses and bought some land and sold some land. We've done all those things, and I realized through that process that this isn't what I want to do. You gotta leverage a ton of money to do it.
Yes.
You've got to have these 2, 3, 4 year windows of market optimization. You have to understand where you're going to be. You have to buy today for worst case scenario 3 or 5 years from now. And you have to have the cash to see you through it.
That's right.
So, and it wasn't the cash that put me out. It was the fact that it might take 5 years to make any profit.
Yeah.
Right. And I didn't want to do that. You know,
no, you needed to, leverage that $300 into a place to live.
Absolutely. I mean, but I had to understand what my tolerance levels were there. That's part of your attributes. What is your tolerance level?
It's who you are. What's your personality?
Yeah.
My brother loves the rental property thing. I don't like it. And, I'm thinking about, we bought this, you found it.
Yeah.
I kind of wrapped it up. We did this little, subject to property. This is a fantastic deal, man. I tell you, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not very much equity there, but that doesn't matter.
Because the cash flow far surpasses. I mean, we can have a 2% monthly income from that.
Exactly. Whatever. Yeah. And, we stepped into it very, very little cash, and now we have a lot of options.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm looking for properties, I want to see how many options we have available.
Mm-hmm.
And so with this one, we could lease option it to somebody. We could owner finance it to someone.
Mm-hmm.
We could rent it,
mm-hmm.
just fix it up a little bit and rent it.
Mm-hmm.
Or we could rent it as is. We could do an Airbnb with it.
Mm-hmm.
We could move in it, live there,
It is on 2 acres.
It is. Yeah.
It is on 2 acres.
Yeah. So
There's
options.
That's
That's
right.
what I
It's
like.
options.
So I'm grateful for options.
Do you remember the contract we used to use back in the day? It was like 5 or 6 pages long,
Yeah.
and it had every possible option in terms of what we could do to buy it.
Yeah.
And we'd have to go through every single page to check off different things.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we don't use those anymore.
You know, I am too. But I will say that one of our mentor students, although he's a rock star in his own right,
Yeah.
he brings a 7-page contract to the table, which is I kind of like his thinking on that. I like my 1 pages, but I see, the value in a 7-page contract.
No one's going to read it.
Exactly. Well, you put all the stuff that you want in there that is probably not that important to the buyer or the seller, but it'll just confuse them. So you put that on page 4 and 5. They're going to read page 1 and 2.
Well, let's
which
take
is
a
the
break
contract.
real quick, Steve.
Oh, we gotta take a break.
We're running up against that break.
Hi, this is Sammy with Sammy Hadid Real Estate Keller Williams. Are you looking for a top producing agent who will look out for your best interests, top dollar on the sale of your home, a well-negotiated contract, an efficient closing? Please call me at 305-978-4249. I'm more than happy to set up a consultation. I'll put together a proposal for you to net top dollar for your home, what it is that I'm doing to get all my homes sold. Then you can decide what's best for you. Again, I'll do whatever it takes to get your home sold for top dollar, and I promise you that I will protect your equity with my life. 305-978-4249. Sammy Hadid, Hadid.
Hello and welcome back to Real Estate 360. I got, kind of retro right now. I think these are my 60s classes. Hey, by the way, this is Steve Conley, #unemployable, and Jason O'Miles.
Hashtag the real estate trader. I just can't get enough of the glasses. I love the get-ups. You guys got to check it out. Listen, it is definitely a sight to see. Watch them. But Steve,
Yes.
here we are. We're at the end of the show.
Right.
We've got a few minutes here, several few-minute segments actually, to talk about what people need to do and to take action, because we're at the end of the year now.
Yeah.
It's just before Thanksgiving. People are going to be wanting to do things. What do they need to do?
Well,
If they're listening to this, we know it's about real estate, right?
absolutely. There's like a zillion things going through my head right now. I'm just trying to take the file cabinet, sort it out, and pull out the right folder, if you know what I mean, for a little visual. So they can start looking at houses right away, and try to get a feel for what's going on. Look for the cheapest thing. Certainly one of the things, and I'm throwing that out as a precursor, so you can just start taking action, so you can start getting the valuations of real estate. That's what I did when I first started. I just stopped doing everything else, and I just looked at houses all day, every day, because I like doing that.
And, a good way to do that is to pick an area. You can go to Zillow. It's really easy, right? If you don't know anything about real estate, go to Zillow. And like you said, look for the cheapest stuff. Go from 0 to 60,000 or 0 to 50,000 just to see if there's anything there.
0 to 100.
Yeah, just to look.
Yeah.
Right? Just to see what that neighborhood is looking like. And then look at what that stuff looks like. If you're looking at something that's 89,000 and you see a lot of houses in that price range and they look like they're falling in on themselves, that's probably the bottom in that area.
Yeah.
So now you want to start to see, okay, let's look from 150 to 300,000. Let's see what's selling in that area. But you can do it from home. You can do it from your cell phone. You can do it from your tablet. You can do it sitting at your desk, and just do it. Pick a zip code, pick an area. With Zillow, you can do the little circle thing right on there and decide where you want to be. Even if you don't know, just pick an area and just start looking.
And look for those areas that have wide ranges of values. So if you have some really, really cheap properties, 30, 40, 50, and then you have some in the 150s, and then you have some in the 300s and 400s, that's probably an area that you want to look at. Now, if you're in an area that everything is, within 400,000 and 600,000, or within 200,000 and 300,000, in other words, a tight retail valuations, that may not be the area
That's right.
where the opportunities are.
That's right, because it's not turning, it's not changing.
Exactly.
And there are a lot of people that will, there's different investment methods, right?
Yes.
So a lot of what we do, we package our investment opportunities up for people that want to fix and flip on the retail side. But there's also the fix and hold on the rental side, because even though we don't like single family rentals, there are a lot of people that do.
Yeah, that's right.
So, the cost sheets that we give people for the renovations are way more expensive than it would be for someone that is going to fix it to rent it out, because we're going to do high-end flooring, we're going to do high-end cabinets, we're going to do stone instead of Formica in the kitchen, and all these different lighting upgrades, all these different things that cost a lot of money.
Right.
But if you take those things out, and I'm saying all this to say, when you're looking at the area, you have to decide, is this a fix and flip for a retail area? Is this a big retail selling area? Or is this a rental area? Are a lot of the houses over here for rent right now?
And you have to match that with your own personal goals and objectives. Do you want rental property to hold for a long time, or do you want the cash flow?
Well, I mean, even as a wholesaler,
Yeah, right.
So even as a wholesaler, when you're looking at that property, is this property best?
Strictly as a wholesaler, I get you.
Yeah, just
So
as a wholesaler.
how are we going to present that to our
Potential
buying
buyers.
audience? Right.
Absolutely. How do we want to present it?
Listen, speaking of mindsets and personalities, I think I need for you to maybe take me after the show, take me out in the hall and slap me around a little bit.
I don't know if that's safe for you there, sir. Got some pretty big mitts over here.
But that property we were talking about in the last segment, I've been talking to you about doing an Airbnb on that. Am I out of my mind?
Listen, I think
I just got to know. Am I out of my mind? Tell me.
Yeah, I mean, so for what you have in place, the person that you have in mind.
By the way, I'm going to stop for a second and just say, hey, the producers of the show here are looking at properties online while we're doing the show.
That's right.
So I don't know what's going on over there. I think
they're testing out our theory. I think. But even with that, I mean, you've got someone who was willing to manage it.
Yeah.
Right. She's kind of expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But she does a good job.
Right.
And if she can do what she says she can do, it's really just a hands-off thing right there. Now, if it's a little flaky.
In my mind, it's a hands-off thing. But in reality, I've talked to a few of these folks and they say, yeah, so-and-so, that's my wife. She's doing the Airbnb. And I said, really? How's it going? He said, it's going great. And I said, so what does she do? He says, man, she's hopping busy. Like she's always running around doing stuff.
Yeah.
And that's not what I want. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, but that's what she wants to do.
Yeah, that's true. And maybe she's not. Maybe she's doing all the management too.
Right.
So.
And eventually she'll burn out because it's a lot.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot of work.
I don't want to run a hotel.
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
That's not my personality. I'm more of a hunter gatherer. Let's go bag the thing.
Yeah, you want to
put it on the grill and
but you don't want to do the cooking and cleaning either.
No,
you just want to hunt, capture the animal, and give it to the people that are going to clean it and cook it.
That's right.
And then get a plate of steaming hot meat.
I did my job.
Right. I'm with you, man.
And there's a lot of value. Speaking of that, there's a huge amount of value in that.
Yeah.
Because most people can't, see the squirrel in the tree because it's camouflage.
Well, the best leaders actually in business are people that are able to understand that.
Yeah.
They really are good at finding talent and promoting talent. They're not good. I mean, Steve Jobs wasn't a finisher. He didn't know make that stuff. He knew how to find the right people. He knew how to sell ideas, present them properly, and go from there. And the list goes on and on. Russell Simmons was another one. In the entertainment business, here's someone who has hired some of the most today. He hired them as interns and employees in the 80s and 90s, and today they're running an industry. Tons of them. Point is, they're good at finding talent, and they're good at understanding where their talents lie. Right? So if you understand where your talents lie, you're not going to waste a bunch of time trying to figure out how to do someone else's job. You're just going to be really great at yours.
Yes. You know, let me mention our seminar this December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day. So come on out to our, like you said, it's really not a seminar. It's really just a gathering. Let's just call it that, where we're going to talk real estate, and we're going to do basically wholesale recap for the year. We basically do a year-end, how to do wholesale real estate, because, hey, for us, that's where it begins.
Yeah, it truly is, because that was the catalyst for everything else. Had it not been for that, we might be doing something else.
The question for everyone is, how do I replace my current income while I'm trying to get wealthy in real estate?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not everyone. A lot of people have money coming in no matter what, which is fine. Then they can just focus on the last part of that, which is building, your wealth in real estate. We can certainly help with that.
Absolutely.
That's easy. The hard part is, okay, let's replace the income and then build the wealth. Because you've got to cover those monthly expenses to keep the wife happy, right?
Yeah, that you do. And I got to just throw this shameless plug out there. And this right here, Real Estate 360, is where you get to hear those things and implement these practices. You can listen to us on our new time, actually, on the radio on 920 on Sundays at 3, right? That's a great time to hear us. Of course, you're going to always be able to hear us on YouTube,
Yep.
The Real Estate 360 channel, iTunes, Real Estate 360, Spotify, Google Play, Real Estate 360. Those are the podcasts. Check it out. Subscribe, tell us what you think, engage with us, but definitely make sure that you follow us and understand what it is we're doing.
And you can go to our realestate360show.com site.
Correct.
Watch all the videos right there. Subscribe to us right there. Contact us through that site. It's all right there.
It's very hard to miss us, you guys. So if you want to know more about how to invest in real estate or developing relationships so that you can do what you're already doing better, this is where you want to be. I mean, we give people unprecedented access to not just us and the things that we do, but our network and the things that they do.
May I give a quote of what a couple of our people who came to our last event said?
Sure.
She said, they said, wow, Steve and Miles are the rock stars. Now I'm thinking of my get up from last week, but that's what they said before they saw that.
Yeah.
They are the rock stars of real estate investing and teaching people and explaining to people what it is and how to do it.
Yeah, because it all boils down to just being straightforward and honest with people. We're not going to sit here and tell you that we win, every time we do something. We're not batting 1,000.
No.
The analogy that I always use is, baseball players go to the Hall of Fame only being right 30% of the time, or only being successful 30% of the time. And it's even less for entrepreneurs, okay?
It is.
So, it's just a matter of being able to get out there and do it. And that's what we do. We're not going to sit and lie to you and tell you that we've never lost money on a deal, that we've never made a mistake. We're going to tell you what to look out for, how to protect yourself, to minimize the possibility of you losing money.
There's a little 3-letter term, OPM. Normally people think about that as other people's money, right? And that's how you make your wealth. We use OPM as other people's mistakes. And that's way more valuable than the money because we know what's going to happen next.
We definitely do.
Yeah.
But listen, you guys, make sure that you check us out on the podcast. Make sure that you get to 920 on Sundays at 3 o'clock. We want to hear from you. Engage with us. My name is Jason Miles.
Steve Connolly.
And we are